Okay, yo, bitch ass bitches. What is up with thee? Um, I'm gonna make this about my fucking movie pitch that I've just come up with Kossoff. I was oh fuck, I meant this to be private. Well, I guess we're live. It doesn't matter. Anywho, this is about the movie pitch I just came up with, which is Woodstock 2025, and it's a horror slasher movie. Uh, well, you'll see. I This is like the opening thing that I wrote. A seemingly harmless loner builds a giant outdoor music festival in the woods and lures all of the popular musicians and famous people there. On the first night of the music festival, he comes on stage to receive some applause for building all of this. He says, "No one ever liked me. All of you are here pretending to like me, are only doing so because you are enjoying the fruit of my labors. You will find there is no way out of this place. The area and woods surrounding have been mined. My followers have just finished laying the mines on the road end. Now it's just you rich and famous people, and me, and the 37 serial killers that I've had freed and brought here for this evening. They're lurking in the darkness, and they were given 3 knives of their choice. I told them that this is Highlander, and that there can be only one Highlander. And they all know that you don't have any knives. I imagine they will kill all of you that don't choose to die by claymore well before turning on one another. We shall see." Shoots woman in the crowd. And well, with that, welcome to the last festival of your pathetic lives. Run, you Davos curs. So I sent that to Kossoff, and we've been talking about it ever since. And we've come up with such good shit. So first off, the main focus of this group of like rich political motherfuckers and like musicians and like every piece of scum that is famous. We're gonna have like some representation of all of them. But at the end, after the killing starts and whatever, you got to narrow down, right? So I don't have the whole group yet of like the like 5 or 6 that we follow, but 2 of those that we've come up with so far is Obama and Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau has undergone a controversial procedure. In shame for his whole blackface shit, he has decided to actually become black. Much like Robert Downey Jr. and what's his face, except it's permanent. Like he literally like had his skin like fucked with or something. Like it doesn't wash off. He'll be played by a black man. All sorts of fun to be had with that. But the other one is Obama, who our like pitch of all pitches for who to play Obama is Kelsey Grammer. I think Kelsey Grammer should play Obama. And my reasoning for this is that I'm going to like put him in like a basketball uniform and have a backwards upside down visor and make him kind of look like Eminem or some shit with like a gold chain on and have him like talk like, "Yo dudes, what up with thee?" Like obviously not ATF or whatever, right? See what else we come up with. Uh, oh, if we can get it, Trump will just play himself because he, you know, assuming that you get enough money to actually make a movie, right? Like, dream would be Trump could play himself. Can't get Trump. Our idea is to replace him with an animated character. I wanted Chester the Cheetos animated character, and Kossoff wanted Joe Camel. So we're figuring that out. But we've also decided that there's going to be an intermission in this movie, and that in the intermission we're going to have cigarette commercials that are just awful. Like this whole thing is a bit like it's started kind of back and forth with us as a we're in a culture war, right? They keep fighting us with a culture war with Hollywood and big tech and fucking all this shit. Why don't we fight back? We can make movies and shit. They're easily offended. This will offend the shit out of all of them, and like we'll enter it in like the Toronto International Film Festival or some shit, and like we can go to Cannes. I would love to have fucking white Obama like showing up with a basketball under his arm, and like the joke of all that to me is I'm not even sure that Obama is black. He's mulatto for one thing, like, and then on top of that, like he's the whitest black man I've ever met. Like, what's his name? He used to be fat, now he's skinny, and when he's skinny, he has a itty bitty body and a big head. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton called him Barack the Magic N word. Does Al Sharpton lie? I think Obama was created in a lab to get elected as fucking president or some shit. Like, this is what the if we could get Kelsey Grammer would not do this, but like that's the vibes we'd be going for is Fraser Crane dressed as Eminem playing Obama, and like the whole thing of this would be like the opening, couple minutes of this would be credits, right? And we'd love to have Woodstock '99 footage over the credits, maybe right up until the start of the movie. And the start of the movie is like the rich people entering and like taking their seats at this like main event thing. That like there's a whole bunch of people there, but there's like this nice like prestige section or whatever. And like that's where we have our little like speech opening up to like the fucking like Davos, EU, Illuminati, all that bullshit. And like I don't know who all you'd have to be there, but like the entering in procession of them would necessarily need to be like a yo, this dude walking by with like a Obama across it. Like some of these, it's not going to be obvious who these people are if you don't have something like that. So like there's probably a minute or two of that that's also kind of credits. I don't know where we go from there, but assuming after you shoot the bitch in the crowd, everybody like scatters into the fucking like Woodstock's on a farm. So we say that maybe he mined the area around the entire area. Like there's like a 5 mile square area that is surrounded and filled with serial killers and mines and shit. And the goal of this is cheap 70s slasher movie meets as best we can do in 2023 technology wise to make a budget horror movie. Because like there's some like legit stuff from those older movies that is like, oh, it's tacky or hokey or whatever, but it's a style. And if you bend into the style of that and add the technology, you're gonna get a really cool effect, I think. And it'd be cheap, cheap as fuck. And that's everything about this movie is cheap, 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 cheap. So like filmed on a farm out in the country where you built a stage, you'd need like a crowd of extras. Maybe a few hundred people. I don't know. We'd have to like play around with that. Because it had to like feel right. It had to feel like a music festival or whatever. But like the thing is, when the speech starts, 70% of the audience just stands up and leaves, and those remaining are like the evil pedophile cabal Illuminati fuckers. And like somewhere in this speech, they're told why they're sitting in the circle of death, basically. And I think it would be funny if it's like a cult of silent people just stands up and slowly exits. Like it's like watching a church empty or something like that. This is like righteous vengeance or whatever. And my pitch for the end of the movie is you see the serial killers who have just spent this whole night, whatever, like slaying all these fucking rich people. I don't know how many it's gonna be. It'd have to be a hell of a lot, right? Like, this is supposed to be like Woodstock. So like even if 70% gets up and leaves, that's hundreds and hundreds of people, probably 1,000 people. So after all this night of killing, whatever, the serial killers are like waking up the next day and like forming into lines to duel each other to the death in some sort of fucked up code of honor. Like, I don't know what that says, but it is like a like fuck you to the establishment, basically. That like I don't know. Maybe they were promised that the last one alive gets to fucking leave and live in peace. Highlander, the prize. Maybe that's why they're forming into lines. Maybe it's not explained. But like I'm gonna work on this more with Kossoff and like try to form all these ideas into a script or something to shop around or something. Try to actually get this made as a budget movie. It'd be fun if nothing else. And like my goal is to like send this to a conservative film festival, if nothing else. If not, try to get it into a big film festival. Is like just fuck you to these people. I'm tired of my life being run by a bunch of fucking bankers in Europe and political elite in America. Seems what it is to me, and bankers in New York too. And like for some of the, entertainers and shit or whatever, if you want to get famous people, I would go to heavy metal bands and rappers and pitch them that we're fighting the Illuminati and we need fame and we need money. And if you can't give us money, just show up and like be yourself in the movie and get killed. It'll be fun for a day. Try to get some legitimate star power through the music industry, maybe, because that would be cheap. Especially if they aren't that famous to begin with, but they're like they might be famous in a couple of years. That would be even cheaper. But there's also musicians in both of those, like the metal and the rap scene, that fucking hate the same people all of us hate. It's the nature of them being kind of loner outsider weirdos, right? Know who to fucking like pitch to. Well, anyway, Um, sorry if you watched this live and didn't get the full thing. You have to go back and watch the start of it. Um, Tell me what you guys think of my movie idea. We'll see you later.